Hello and welcome to The Print. Today we have with us senior Congress leader and former Union Minister, Mrs. Renuka Chowdhury. She's glowing with confidence today because her home state, it seems like the Congress is making a resurgence here. Let's find out more from her on what she thinks of this early trends. Ma'am, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I mean, how do you think the Congress is doing so far? I know it's early trends, but what do you make of it so far?
I'm not surprised because this is something we felt and it has been our due, frankly speaking. And for the past 10 years, we've tolerated, been bullied, been harassed by this ruling government, BRS. And at this point, by workers, the Congress workers, more than us leaders, had got their act together and we fought back. And I'm very, very optimistic that in the evening we will continue seeing this trend and that we are going to form the government here. It's something I've been saying for the past one and a half years. I've been very vocal about this.
Ma'am, what did the Congress do differently this time that you're expecting, or at least seeing these kind of trends and results?
I think we finally got our act together here. We got our act together, put our heart in our work and put aside all our differences, and we said that the BRS must go. More than us, it was the voter. We saw the sea change amongst the voter. The fact that anywhere we went, anywhere I went, total strangers would approach and say, ma'am, this time you guys have to do it. Or they would complain saying, it's because you guys are not there that this kind of nonsense is happening in the state as it is. So, that was an awakening. That's the call.
There was also this blitzkrieg of rallies from the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, and several others from the BJP. Do you think that has any impact, or
It had a negative impact. This Rambo style of them coming in and talking the way they do, so brash and insensitive, absolute insensitivity towards the southern sensibility. They don't even begin to interpret what the South is about. It is that look down and talk down kind of ideology they have towards the South. That we're all collectively Madrasis. They have no concept of what our identity is and our inherent strengths. So they will continue losing in the South. It's no entry for them. And hopefully they'll remain that way.
is it safe for us to say that this is sort of the revival of the Congress party at the national level as well, starting Karnataka?
I won't say we are revival, we're just not dormant anymore. and we are far more on the uptake as such. And this is something that relentlessly our leaders have been working for. I think the Bharat Jodo was a flashpoint. Undoubtedly, people underestimated the Bharat Jodo. There was a very tongue-in-cheek, tolerant attitude the BJP was showing towards the Bharat Jodo. But halfway through they sat up, they perked up and they realized, we are in trouble. And so all the Rahul bashing started all over again. But it didn't work. It went to decimate them and to diminish them and their so-called aura or glory or whatever they thought was around them. And the Bharat Jodo, in fact, it should be studied a lot more deeply to understand how the trigger went and then the ripple effect that kept coming. It's still happening. It's still happening. A year later, the Bharat Jodo impact is still there amongst the common man. And that's quite strange because the kind of resonance we saw amongst the people, cutting across caste, creed and all our political analysis, there was that spark that started and said, hey, something, actually the Congress had done this, have done that. And all this whitewashing or rather blackwashing that the BJP indulged in, 2G, 3G, all this nonsense that they perpetuated, the lies, the mistruths that they kept telling, people suddenly started looking through that. They saw that the sheen is off and the filters are off and they're seeing it for what it is. The Congress has the talent, we have the grit, we have the tenacity and we have the strength. We are back.
Ma'am, there's also this part, that as MLAs or the results are coming in, we've also seen that, there are efforts to safeguard your MLAs. Mr. D. Keshav Kumar is already in Hyderabad, camping in Hyderabad. We've heard that there are some resorts booked in Bangalore. So, how are you planning? I mean, and you also made a statement that the BRS has already started calling some of your MLAs. So, what is the plan to counter this?
No, what I was saying is that the BRS MLAs have been calling us. A lot of people have called us to say that Didi, if the situation is such and you need us, we are ready to extend our seva. These were the words that they told us. So I gave them a warning saying, you better watch your lot, never mind our lot. We are fine, we are home and strong.
Ma'am, also, what do you make of the results in the other states? Do you think, the Congress can do or has been doing quite well there as well?
Yes, I think so. I think we were doing very well, and we have some amazing local leadership there in our chief ministers and our ex-chief ministers and others who have been working on the ground. And I do believe that we are making inroads in all the states. Yeah, Mizoram is a different ball game just now, and we need to look at that. But the rest of the states, I think we are doing very, very well.
And how impactful will these results be on next year's Lok Sabha elections? What do you think?
Well, a lot of that depends on how the public votes. They're very clever. There are lots of times when they voted this way at the assembly and that way at the Lok Sabha elections. But I think as of now, there is a shift. There's a categoric shift and there's a fatigue for the BJP. The people are tired of those Rambo politics. There is a frisson that is being felt by people who think this is not the way for a prime minister to talk when he comes to the states, and this is not happening. What they're talking about is not happening because unemployment is still very, very high. And we see our Indian citizen, every sixth citizen in the world is an Indian. We're exporting intelligence. We're contributing to different countries' economies. And it didn't happen in the last 10 years. The foundations were laid long before that.
Do you have a prediction for what the final number will be in Telangana, ma'am?
I think we're sweeping. It is quite categorically a sweep. And I have sent my heartfelt condolences to the BRS. They overestimated themselves. And it's a shocking lack of intelligence failure. I mean, their intelligence failure that they weren't told the truth. And because we saw it coming, and we were considered the amateurs. So I was a little surprised that the IT, Haiti and the mighty couldn't see what they were in for. And
all right. So, do you have a chief minister already in place? So, what's that going to look like after this, ma'am?
Well, that is an exercise which we always go through in the Congress. As you know, there's a very popular face in Revanta Reddy, and he's worked very in your face publicly, taken on the might, contested against the chief minister also. So I guess he's the public favourite, but that's not enough for me to say it or the public to say it. It is vital that the MLAs say it. And I don't see why they shouldn't, but that's their choice. And quite frankly, I can't take that privilege away from them and give my, my 2 pice bet as such. But and there's a lot of, there are lots of other aspirants, which is also a matter of pride for us that we have that kind of a talent pool that a lot of people are qualified to be the chief minister. And we also have to, when we decide on the chief minister now, we've got to keep our eye firmly on the ensuing Lok Sabha elections. We need to carry that forward. And the gravitas that is required for us to sustain this till the next 5 years and to ensure that we go into the next 5 years balancing the kind of depletion that has happened in the state because of the BRS, the potholes that they've laid out for us in governance, and the kind of decimating of confidence in public governance that the BRS has left as a legacy for us. Those are going to be the hard rocks that we are stuck between and the hard place. But I have that confidence that we have the experience of the past. We do have the talent pool, and we do cut across lines across the nation. So we've got a fairly good matrix of people who know how to do governance.
We also saw the chief minister, KCR. I mean, him also, sort of attacking Indira Gandhi's legacy as well in the run up to the elections. What was all of that about?
I think it was just signs of desperation. I mean, did he really believe that his image was greater than Indira Gandhi? And give me a break, then they need collective psychiatric help. But the fact is that it decimated him. It decimated his image. There was a time, quite frankly, when KCR was viewed as the be all and end all, and he was considered that he was delivering. The business community was very happy with him. But I think he started faltering, and he sort of started letting the reins slip out of his hands into his son's hands. And the son, I'm afraid, doesn't know his groundwork. He hasn't done it. He hasn't worked for it. He doesn't know what it is. He's a smooth talking, smart aleck, but that's where it remains.
All right. Thank you so much for talking to us, ma'am.
Thank you. This was a pleasure. I've always been a great fan of ThePrint.
Thank you
I
so
think
much.
you do some amazing work.
Thank you.
Thank you.